Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful crochet block stitch. This is a super easy stitch that shows off colors in just a really beautiful way with little pops of color. Now, I've been playing around with the colors and switching them for different rows. You can do this in all the same color. You can switch colors like I did, but it's a really fun way to kind of play around with color. We're going to just be using super easy stitches, single crochet, double crochet, and chains, and I'm going to walk you through it every step of the way. So let's get started. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using some aqua blue, some dark blue, and some hot pink. We're going to do our double crochet rows in the shades of blue, and then the single crochet rows in between we'll do in the hot pink to really make it pop out. So like I said, our single crochet rows, we're going to be using the hot pink. So I'm going to grab the hot pink to start because our first starting chain and row 1 will be done in that bright color, okay? So the crochet block stitch has a multiple of 3 plus 1. So we're going to do a chain 25 to begin, just for our little swatch. Now you can change it and scale it however you want. If you're not familiar with the concept of multiples, just when you're doing your starting chain, work in groups of 3. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 and so forth, and then add one more chain onto that. So we're going to do a chain 25. So what you want to do first is put a slip knot on your hook. Wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop. Bring that yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up a loop, and tighten. Again, we're going to do a chain 25. You can do any chain you want as long as it's in that 3 plus 1 multiple, okay? So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, so here's our starting chain. It'll give you a bit of an idea of how wide your swatch is going to be or your project. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is row 1. We're going to work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So the loop here on our hook does not count. We're going to go 1 and 2, and in that second chain from the hook, we'll work our single crochet. So insert the hook into that chain, bring up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on the hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through both loops. So the single crochet. Then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to skip the next 2 chains, and in the chain after that, we'll work a single crochet. Okay, so we're just going to do this all the way across, and you can kind of see how we're going to have a little series of loops across, okay? So go ahead and repeat that. Chain 2, 1, 2, then we'll skip the next 2 chains, and in the chain after that, work a single crochet. Just like that. Okay, you can see we have another little opening there. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains. In the chain after that, work your single crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains. In the chain after that, work your single crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains. In the chain after that, work a single crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains. In the chain after that, work a single crochet. Again, we're just doing this all the way across. Chain 2, skip the next 2 chains. In the chain after that, work a single crochet. We're going to do this until there's just 2 chains left. So you're going to skip the next chain, and in that very last chain, work a single crochet this time. Okay? Okay, so row 1 is complete. We have these lovely little pops of pink that we're going to be adding, okay? Now, you can stick with the same color, but this stitch looks really pretty when you add more colors in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. If you want to stick with the same color and make it solid, totally fine. Just stick with the color that's on your hook. But I'm going to cut the yarn and just fasten off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to attach our new yarn. I'm going to grab this aqua color. And what we'll do, let's just get a little bit of yarn out of here. We can scoot our pink yarn over for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back into that same stitch. Again, if you're sticking with the same color, you won't need to do this part. But if you're switching colors like me, you can grab one of the two blues that we talked about for our double crochet rows. So go back in with your hook into that last stitch worked, and we're going to hook the new yarn on. Okay? And then I'm just going to tie it right on. Again, if you have a different way you like to join yarn, definitely feel free to do that. All right, so we're just going to tie that right on. So now we're going to go back into that last stitch worked. We're going to grab our new yarn. We'll deal with these ends later. Bring up a loop, and then this time we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. Okay? Now, as a side note, that chain 3 counts as a double crochet on this row. And now for this row, each of these, remember we made these openings, we called them like loops or openings across. In the written pattern over at the blog, they're called the chain 2 space. So basically they were spaces created by making a chain 2, the chain 2 space. Okay, so we're going to work 3 double crochets in that first chain 2 space. To make a double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert it into that chain 2 space, and bring up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. So that was 1 double crochet, and then we're going to do second double crochet and a third double crochet. Okay? Just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing in each chain 2 space across. Okay? So hop over to the next chain 2 space and work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Next chain 2 space, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Next space, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, get a little bit more yarn here, and 3. All right, moving right along to the next chain 2 space and work your 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3. And the next chain 2 space, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. Okay, we've arrived at the last chain 2 space. So 3 double crochet in there. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work a double crochet in that last single crochet at the end of the row here, okay? So just go ahead and work a double crochet into that stitch, okay? So row 2 is complete. So we're starting to see some really pretty color and texture in our block stitch, okay? We're going to switch back to the pink now. And so I'm going to cut the yarn because we're going to start on row 3. So fasten off and then grab your pink yarn again. Now the next time we do a double crochet row, we'll use the blue yarn and it'll start really coming together. You don't have to do that. I just thought it would be fun. Okay, so we're going to go back in that stitch that we just worked and we're going to hook the next color on, the pink again. So every time you do a single crochet row, we'll stick with the pink. And we're going to just tie it right on there. Again, we'll deal with these ends later. We're just going to tie it right on and work row 3. Row 3 is the last row we're going to learn because this whole stitch is repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over, okay? So go back in that last stitch you worked, bring up a loop, and this time we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work, okay? Okay, so we're going to work a single crochet in that very first stitch of the row. And then we're going to work a single crochet in this first space here. So you see this first cluster of double crochets that we did in the previous row? There's a space right before that. So work a single crochet into that space right there, okay? All right. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then hop over to the space in between the next 2 clusters. And in that space, work a single crochet, just like that. Okay, so it'll look kind of like that, okay? Chain 2, work a single crochet in the next space in between the 2 clusters, chain 2, single crochet in between the next 2 clusters. Okay, let me just show you what we got so far. Very pretty. Chain 2, work a single crochet in the next space between the next 2 clusters, and chain 2. Work a single crochet in the space between the next 2 clusters, chain 2, single crochet in the next space, chain 2. Okay, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets at the end of the row here. See this turning chain? That creates a space. So in that turning chain space, work 2 single crochets to finish the row. So 1 and 2, okay? So row 3 is complete. So I'm just going to fasten off, okay? Okay, so I just wanted to show you the progress that we've made, because for the rest of this stitch, what we'll do is we'll work rows 2 and 3 over and over and over again until it's as big as you want it to be, basically. So we're going to grab our next color. We're going to do our double crochet rows in alternating blue shades, okay? Again, not necessary. I just thought it would be pretty and fun. So you'll just tie the new color on and then just repeat row 2, okay? So keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over. I'm going to add some more colors to mine, and then we'll rejoin in just a minute, and I'm going to kind of show you how this all kind of comes out, okay? So just keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over and over. Okay, so I worked a few more rows and I alternated my blues for my double crochet rows. So you can kind of see what I was talking about before. So it's pretty much done. You just keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over and over again, changing colors however you want, design-wise. And that's it. That's how you crochet the block stitch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Thanks again.